Yo, what's going on, Jets fans? Welcome into the Jets Report. My name is Patrick Seatman, and we got a loaded show for you guys today as Allen Lazard, the trade rumors of him going to the Pittsburgh Steelers are picking up after the blockbuster NFL news that we got earlier on this morning. So we'll break that down in full on the first half of today's show. And we're going to talk about the Jets trading for another Packers receiver here, Christian Watson. He could be on the trade block. Doesn't make sense for the Jets. I'll give you guys my thoughts here in a second. But before we do so, got to give a big shout out to the real ones. Other people that have hit the subscribe button this past week. I think we picked up almost 500 subs over the last 4-ish days. So I really do appreciate it. But hey, we're closing in on 6,000 subscribers here. We just need over 400 of you guys to hit that subscribe button today. We will post a video around your New York Jets every single day this offseason. So if you want more Jets content in your life, help us out here. Hit the subscribe button. It's free, and it really does help us grow this channel here. So if you guys could subscribe today. So the big-time news in the NFL world this morning, the Cowboys trading for wide receiver George Pickens and a 2027 sixth-round pick. In exchange, the Steelers get a 2026 third and a 2027 fifth-round pick. So a bit of a shocker here. Jerry Jones was saying he was working on a big trade about a couple of weeks ago, and it turns out George Pickens was that big move from Dallas' side. I actually do like the move. I know George Pickens has a bunch of, character off the field, kind of concerns for certain teams. But when he is on the field and you got to line up against CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, it's definitely going to give guys problems. So I like it from the Dallas side of things. But from the Steelers side of things, this leaves their wide receiver room. I mean, outside of DK Metcalf, this is the worst room in the National Football League. I mean, you got old man Robert Woods. You got Calvin Austin III, who is he's a solid wide receiver 3, kind of a gadget guy. But besides that, I mean, you got Roman Wilson, not much there. So outside of DK Metcalf, I mean, the Steelers are going to have to make a move at the wide receiver spot, and that's where Allen Lazard comes into play here. So apparently, according to Mike Florio, which this is kind of obvious. Shout out to Florio, but I could have reported this saying Allen Lazard is in play to be traded to the Steelers. Now, obviously, we know the huge connection where the Steelers are most likely going to sign Aaron Rodgers at some point, even though I don't know what's holding this up on Rodgers' decision not to sign with the Steelers. Maybe he's waiting for like another starting quarterback to get injured. He doesn't love the, maybe the fit or like the personnel in Pittsburgh as much as, he would like. So maybe he's waiting for another team, their starting quarterback to go down. But Rodgers, if he goes to Pittsburgh and he's looking at the wide receiver room, he's probably telling him like, yo, go trade for my guy, Allen Lazard. And, if I were the Jets, I would try to take advantage of this. But the only negative side of the Jets here is the financial side. So after they reworked Lazard's deal, the numbers of him getting traded completely changed. So this is for Allen Lazard, the Jets' financial situation, if it was a pre-June 1 trade. Which obviously, they could wait a month and just make this a post-June one, but it would create $6.5 million in dead cap and then also negative $1.9 million in savings in 2025. So you're losing almost $8 million or just over $8 million here. This makes no sense for the Jets. Now, maybe they decide to make it a pre-June one. Steelers get desperate. They're like, yo, we'll toss you a 4th-round pick. We just need to get Lazard here. If that's the situation, Jets would take that in a heartbeat, but almost take advantage of the Steelers' desperation here. But I think it would most likely be a post-June 1 trade, but you're still creating that dead cap in 2026. But I don't know the Jets would, be a fan of that. So new GM, Darren Muji, he's got a good chance to kind of, like I was saying, take advantage of the Steelers' desperation here. And yes, if you do trade in post-June 1, you would save 2.42 in savings this year, but is that really going a long way? Would you want to trade him to save 2 here, but you're also creating $4.5 million in dead cap that season? I don't know. I think the Jets do have some leverage in this situation, so maybe they could get a little more than you would think for Allen Lazard. But how funny would it be for the Steelers if they traded away George Pickens for a 3rd-round pick, and then they have to trade a 5th-round pick to get Allen Lazard? I think that'd be pretty funny on the Steelers side of things. But, listen, Lazard, he's Rodgers' guy, and he's a good run-blocking wide receiver. I understand that, but I just think he's kind of a cooked product at this point. Drops were definitely an issue for him last year, specifically that game in London against the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, he probably had 3 or 4 big-time drops on, also big-time downs in that game, I remember. But, 530 yards last year as, wide receiver 2 for half of it, and then once Tay got there, playing the wide receiver 3 spot. But if I had to call what this trade would look like, I think this would be it. maybe I'm being a little too optimistic on the Jets getting a 5th-round pick here, but I think it would be the Jets getting a 5th. They send Lazard and a 7th-round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think this would be a steal for the Jets. You just upgrade your pick heading into the next season, and you just get more draft capital. Maybe that could set them up to move up in the draft or just get more draft picks to try to build out this roster. But if that's the deal, I'm probably doing it if I'm the Jets, even though the financial side isn't too beneficiary for them, but I think it would be worth it just to get a 5th-round pick out of it. But I'll ask you guys this. Do you think the Jets will trade Allen Lazard? Give me a T for trade. Give me a P for pass. What say you on this one? I would probably guess they're going to trade Lazard here, but hey, maybe you guys disagree with me. Let me know your thoughts down below. All right, let's dive into the Christian Watson part of today's show. Could the Jets be trading for this Packers wide receiver? Now, we were talking yesterday about them trading for Romeo, and kind of similar thoughts here for Watson. I don't know if the Jets are in a position to trade for a wide receiver, and I'll talk about that a little more here in a second. But in terms of Christian Watson, listen, this guy's a physical freak, and maybe he hasn't been the most productive in his first 3 years than Packers fans would have wanted, but he's got a lengthy injury history. I mean, he tore his ACL at the end of last season, but he should be fully recovered for that. But, I mean, big play threat. He's got some drop issues as well over his career, but I mean Lazard's still a big body wide receiver. I actually think him and Garrett Wilson's game would complement each other really well. And then plus like the Jets, they got a bunch of like gadget speed guys. If you would have like Watson, Wilson, on the outsides, and you got like guys like Corley, Arian Smith working in the slot. Then even got a guy like Josh Reynolds who could be a great run blocking wide receiver at spots. Like you could really mix and match with that wide receiver room. And the only negative of this is, like, would Watson take reps away from, like, these younger guys like Corley and, obviously Arian Smith? Like, that's a downside of it because you kind of want to see what you have with this group. But I think it would take a 3rd-round pick to get this deal done. He's coming off a torn ACL, even though he was a tremendously talented wide receiver. I just don't know if it makes it too much sense for the Jets. So, listen, I'm probably completely out on trading for Christian Watson. Now, yes, it would make the Jets just a little better this season, but I don't want to give up a 3rd-round pick for next season because what if that 3rd-round pick you get turns into Christian Watson? Then you could take advantage of that wide receiver on their rookie deal. So, I would probably be out on trading for Watson. Now, again, if the Jets do so, it's not like I'm going to be pissed about the move because clearly they're trying to make, Justin Fields' life a whole lot easier. That's been their plan this offseason. Build a good team around him. Take advantage on Fields on a pretty team-friendly deal, 2 for $40. So I would say no to trading for Christian Watson, especially if it's for a 3rd. Now, if you could get him for like a 5th or a 6th-round pick, which I think is unlikely, then maybe I would have a little more intrigue there. But I'll ask you guys this. Would you accept this trade? If it's just Christian Watson straight up for a 2026 3rd-round pick, give me an A for accept. Give me a D for decline. You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. I'll be probably typing my D for decline on this one, but hey. If you guys disagree, let me know your thoughts down below. And also hit that subscribe button on the way out. Help us reach 6,000 subs here on YouTube. See y'all next time. As always, go Jets.